This is the War Brief Daily for April 14th, 2026, covering the Russia-Ukraine theater. In roughly the last 48 hours, Russia violated a declared ceasefire more than 10,000 times. That works out to one violation every 16 seconds. Tonight, we are tracking four major developments. First, the overnight drone campaign and Ukraine's confirmed deep strike into Russia. Second, the total collapse of the Easter ceasefire and a confirmed war crimes allegation. Third, frontline shifts in Donetsk, Zaporizhia, and Dnipropetrovsk. And fourth, a strategic blow to Moscow. Russia's most valuable European ally is gone. First, overnight on April 12 to 13, Russian forces launched 98 drones at Ukraine, a mixed package of Shahed 136 derivatives, Gerbera types, and Italmus types, launched from 6 separate vectors including Crimea, Kursk, Bryansk, and Krasnodar. Ukrainian air defenses intercepted 87 of 98, an 89% intercept rate. That is confirmed by the Ukrainian Air Force. 9 drones penetrated. Confirmed strikes hit residential areas in Kharkiv and Zaporizhia oblasts, and an energy facility in Chernihiv Raion that knocked out power to 12,000 residents. Ukraine struck back. Geolocated footage published April 13 confirms fires at the Cherepovets Azot plant in Vologda Oblast, approximately 500 kilometers inside Russia. Here is what makes this target significant. The facility produces 900,000 tons of ammonia annually. Ammonia is a direct precursor for explosives manufacturing. This is not just an industrial hit, it is a strike with direct implications for Russian munitions supply. Full damage assessment is still emerging, but the fire is confirmed. Second, the Orthodox Easter ceasefire is dead. The Ukrainian General Staff documented 10,721 Russian violations during the truce, including 119 ground assaults, more than 2,200 Italmas and Lancet drone strikes, and over 6,800 FPV strikes. Russia counterclaimed Ukraine violated the ceasefire 6,558 times. Both sides were shooting, neither stopped. But here is what elevates this beyond a numbers dispute. Ukrainian Ombudsman Dmytro Lubinets confirmed on April 12 that Russian forces executed 4 Ukrainian prisoners of war near Veterinarne in Kharkiv Oblast and targeted a Ukrainian evacuation group near Huliaipilske in Zaporizhia, both incidents occurring after the ceasefire began. These are confirmed war crimes allegations from a Ukrainian government official and are now under international scrutiny. Any future ceasefire proposal without verifiable enforcement infrastructure will face the same outcome. Third, frontline movements. This is confirmed. Geolocated footage published April 12 shows Ukrainian forces recently advanced northeast of Liman in the Slovyansk direction. Russian mill bloggers are also claiming advances near Lipivka and Fedorivka Druha. Treat those as unconfirmed single-source claims at this stage. In southern Dnipropetrovsk, geolocated footage confirms a Ukrainian strike on an ammunition cache inside Berezova, indicating Russian forces have pushed into that settlement. In Zaporizhia near Stepnohirsk, Ukraine's Military Intelligence Directorate reports Ukrainian forces are actively clearing the area and have destroyed over 20 armored vehicles, including tanks and electronic warfare systems in recent operations. Fourth, Viktor Orban has conceded defeat after 16 years in power. Hungarian opposition leader Peter Magyar won an overwhelming parliamentary majority for the TISA party. This is confirmed. Orban was Russia's most valuable EU ally, consistently blocking sanctions, delaying military aid, and vetoing EU decisions unfavorable to Moscow. Putin personally endorsed him before the vote. The Kremlin's response? Peskov refused to congratulate the winner and called Hungary an unfriendly country. That tells you everything about how Moscow reads this loss. Compounding this, a new open-source analysis published April 12th by German economist Johannes Klug found Russian military recruitment fell 20% year-over-year in Q1 2026, dropping to roughly 800 to 1,000 soldiers per day, despite signing bonuses reaching a record 1.47 million rubles. And based on Russian Finance Ministry data, Russia's own numbers, death compensation payments were made for approximately 25,000 soldiers killed in Q1 2026 alone. That is up from 10,000 in Q1 2024. Russia is losing people faster than it can replace them. Watch for ISW's April 14 assessment for frontline confirmation in Lyman and Berezova. Track the international response to the confirmed POW execution allegation. Watch whether Hungary's new government signals a policy shift toward Ukraine at the EU level. And monitor closely the Kremlin's claim that Baltic states and Finland are permitting Ukrainian drones through NATO airspace. ISW flags this as a deliberately pre-positioned narrative that could be used to justify future Russian escalation into NATO territory. That is the kind of low-profile signal that separates serious watchers from headline readers. Those are your key developments for April 14. Stay with the brief.